Hi, I'm Dave Keating. I'm the CEO of Refraime. Refraime is an African AI practice. We were born out of a software development company that has 30 years of experience in the African setting. We are looking at building AI solutions for African and global problems. The first of which our focus has been on is the security industry, and we have built analytics for CCTV solutions.
Hi, I'm Dean Sichelschmidt. I'm the Managing Director for Arteco Global Africa. So Arteco is, in essence, a video management solution. We date back to 1987. We're quite proud to say we've been in South Africa for about 12 years now. And our focus is definitely to provide a solution that's not only technologically advanced, but also cost-effective for our local and global markets. And yes, we also are very excited about our new relationships that we have with new technological partners, especially ones that are working out of South Africa. The partnership really came about, it's quite an interesting story. We actually had a client that contacted us and asked us about Refraime if we knew these guys. And we said, well, we've heard about them and we'll investigate. And so we got on the line with Dave and his team and set up a brief chat. And just for us immediately, we saw that there's great synergy in terms of us as two companies working together. It definitely filled a gap in our customers' market space that are asking us for cloud-based solutions and analytics, especially talking about, the agentic analytics, the next step in this interesting part of the security. The relationship started very quickly, and before we knew it, we had an integration done and we moved on from there. So it was really awesome.
Well, as Dean said, we got off to quite a cracking start. We found that the culture of the local Arteco guys very much fitted in with what we wanted to do. We are not a video management solution. We are, as I said earlier, an AI practice, and we're very focused on the analytics. So it became a very complementary set of solutions and skill sets that came together. We have worked with numerous other providers of solutions in this industry. What truly stood out for us was how well the Arteco technical people knew their subject matter and how quickly the two technical teams got together and actually delivered the first integration within 2 days. That was ready for it to be quality assured. And within the next couple of days, that was being demonstrated to their client base as well as our client base. So it's been a breath of fresh air as far as these things go. And something that stood out for me is that a company with such a long history in this and potential legacy type of software, they are forward looking. They're not resting on their laurels that they've got a solution that is entrenched in the marketplace. They are looking at moving with the times, moving with the technologies, and that's what we're really excited about.
For us, what is very important with the Refraime integration and partnership was helping us to also stand out from the noise that is there. I think with Refraime, that's enabled us to really reach certain customers that want to be able to leverage the cloud analytics. Before that, we obviously were invested in server-based and edge-based. I'm not saying that isn't something that isn't relevant anymore, but I think just using the ability or having the ability to have the analytics in the cloud, especially where you don't have to deploy heavy hardware, is very important for our customers. And it's questions that the customers are asking us. What are you doing with the cloud? Are you leveraging the cloud availability, the tech that the cloud allows us? We do believe with partnering with Refraime with that definitely helps us stand out from that noise that is there. For us, the biggest advantage is providing the customer with a single pane of glass. So we've got numerous integrations with numerous partners out there, but what we believe the relationship with Refraime, what's enabled us to do is to be able to reach the customers that want to reduce their false alarms on the perimeters. But not only that, also look at analytics for your general use. When I say general use, look at parking lots, look at places where, analytics doesn't always focus on the traditional perimeter, the normal stuff that is out there. But what you guys are bringing to the table is the ability to even reduce that noise even further in the control room by looking at everyday instances like car parking and what's happening around that, people walking in the street, cameras that are deployed in stadiums, for example, or public spaces. So that's really helped to even reduce, let's call it the spam that you get in the control room even more. For us, that's very, very important.
So what I think some of the important things that this partnership brings to the marketplace is that we can significantly reduce costs for various companies. We can assist client base on both sides of our product offerings. We sometimes do have customers who require a VMS. They don't just require video analytics. They require a VMS so that they can go back on footage and they can do forensic analysis and that kind of thing. It also allows organizations that have been long established to modernize. What has started to happen with the acceleration, if you take the acceleration in AI technology within the industry over the last couple of years, people are starting to have a bit of fear of missing out. What this does is it gives them the stability and the understanding of the Arteco kind of expertise and solutions in those space, and it allows them to also dip into what's new in the industry. What is happening, and also reduce the cost at the edge. You don't need to have a massive server sitting on your premises. That is a barrier to entry because it might cost hundreds of thousands of rands to implement. You can now do it on a usage base where you're calling out into cloud infrastructure. From a Refraime perspective, it also means that we can start building models that are deployment appropriate. So we can deploy at the edge, as Dean was saying, but we can deploy at any appropriate level of the topology. We can start to do deeper analytics of things such as weapons detection, unusual behaviors, people maybe trying to obfuscate their identities, fighting, determining those kind of behaviors. We can use very deep, very robust models because we are not limited to the hardware that you have on the edge. There are plenty of cloud providers and we are agnostic. As a partnership, we're generally agnostic to those, so we can deploy region specific. For Arteco is a global presence. We're mainly an African presence, but if we do need to deploy into other regions, that is not a problem.
You did touch on it early on, and I decided to. Well, not decided, but it was important for me to take a few steps back and really look at how the team were working with each other. And there was an absolute synergy from day one, no doubt. The guys understood the objective, they knuckled down, they got into it. And, it was interesting at 7:30 the Friday morning getting a WhatsApp from Dave and saying, hey, it's done, it's done and dusted. So it really goes down to show that team the guys that we bring on board and the girls that we bring on board are focused on the industry, are focused on our companies, and definitely focused on our customers, and really understanding the task at hand to be able to make this happen quickly, because that's the thing, isn't it? Getting to market quickly and securely without a lot of fuss. And so I was very proud of the team. Your guys and girls were awesome, and so was ours, and it was great.
What we've found so far in this industry is that quite often you'll be driven by a customer towards a particular integration. That's what our experience has been. This has been the first instance with Arteco where they were pushed by one of their clients towards us. The initial meeting was very frank and very forthright. We didn't want to waste each other's time because things are moving quickly, and obviously time is money for everybody. And we immediately saw eye to eye that there was potential value on both parties' behalves. We requested the documentation that came through within an hour of the meeting having wrapped up. We put one of our guys onto it. He had a couple of questions that were bounced through to the Arteco technical team that afternoon. Those answers were returned. The team worked together on a couple of dependencies that had to happen, and I got a message at about 9 o'clock at night saying that now all the dependencies had been resolved and our integration would be ready by the following morning. As Dean has already alluded to, the next morning when I got into the office at 7 a.m., I was very cheerfully by my team presented a demonstration of exactly how things had been integrated, and actually showing some of our analytics appearing in the Arteco platform then and there. And that's when I just took a couple of snapshots and whatnot. And Dean had mentioned he was going to see the clients who had pushed him in that direction that morning. So he had some material to show. So as I've said before, the industry is moving very, very quickly with AI. And the buzzword of the day is agentic AI. We're hearing a lot about it. We're hearing a lot about it locally. We're hearing a lot about it globally. There's a whole load of enablers that are happening. There's lots of promises being made by a lot of players in the industry, but we are yet to see any real things happening in that domain where things are being put out into the wild and being proven in the wild. We're on the leading edge of those kind of developments. We are getting feedback from Arteco customers as to what they would like to see next. We are very, very focused in the AI space, and we're looking at trying to create more value for people from their CCTV infrastructure. So start using the cameras for more than just intrusion detection at the perimeter. So for instance, at schools, you may want to pick up if somebody is bullying somebody, if there's somebody that's trying to sell goods, illicit goods to kids, or if they're, not being kind to themselves and smoking and vaping, those kind of use cases are now really, really viable. And they're not going to be prohibitively expensive. So we're looking at driving down costs, upping the return on investment for the various parties, and getting it more readily available to a wider public audience.
So next to 12 to 18 months, I think it's going to be quite a very interesting time. And what Dave touched on earlier was acceleration. And I think that's being in this industry for so long. It's, I would say, quite scary, if one can use those words nowadays, because things happen so quickly. To try and keep up is quite a challenge, especially like Dave mentioned about the agentic analytics, deploying solutions not traditionally for perimeter, but for more general use applications, like at ATMs, aggressive behavior at ATMs. Maybe you see somebody that is running in a supermarket or outside of a supermarket. Is it somebody chasing somebody because of an offense that has taken place, or is it maybe mom just running after little Johnny because he's got out of, away from her. So I think just taking surveillance cameras or CCTV and putting this into real world applications for us is extremely interesting. So yeah, the next 12 to 18 months, I think is going to be extremely interesting. The last time we did a Securex was pre-COVID. And we decided to get back in because we felt that we had a lot to say on this year. There's a lot new developments on our side, and of course with Refraime. Well attended. What stood out for us is a lot of qualified questions. The traditional tie kickers or trophy hunters that you would find, coming to shows like that, not specifically Securex, but in general, we find a lot less of that. And we had a lot of people asking really good questions. I know, Dave, you came to visit us there as well.
Yeah, that was our first experience of it.
Yeah.
Compared to other things that we've been to in the past, as you alluded to, there's a lot of time wasters, and
yeah, sure,
they'll tie you up for hours on end asking you arbitrary questions. But Securex seems to be more focused, more industry driven, so it was pretty successful for us.
Yeah.
I'm excited that now down in Cape Town, you've actually given us a bit of real estate on your stand.
Yeah.
And we're going to be able to show people solutions real time in live scenarios. That's going to be pretty exciting.
It'll be pretty challenging. When our demos work live, but absolutely, I think for us, Cape Town is also very exciting. It's a market that's growing for us as well. The typical solutions provider base. That you look at Gauteng versus the Western Cape. They're inherently two different types of people there, and it's going to be interesting for us to be there. And new venue, we've never been at the venue before either. But yeah, happy to have you guys there, and
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting.
And it's going to be in October, so it's not going to be cold and
It's
wet.
not going to be so cold. Well, hopefully, that's good. It's not going to. I'm sure we're going to be blessed with great, with great weather, and I think also with a great attendance. So, yeah, looking forward to it.